like, harmless.
Yeah, but do you think he turned out to be a bit of a wrong'un?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, he did watch TV from the side.
It's true.
Hello, and welcome back to How I Ripped Off Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the only podcast in history that goes through some shit that I wrote as a 15-year-old, 14, 15, somewhere around then. And now we're going to go back and read it because it brings me great pain to bring this to the public. My name is Chip Thompson. I am joined by MC.
That would be me.
That would be you. That is correct.
Wow.
And this is episode 8, Spiked Part 2. What happened last week, MC?
Not a great deal, to be
No,
honest.
that's true.
Oh, no, wait, no, that's not true. MC and Tifa Lockhart, who, yes, that is the name of the Final Fantasy 7 character who, for some reason, is a police detective in a world overrun by vampires and zombies.
You just answered your own question there.
Are gonna go on a date at last.
This is going to be the most fucking romantic episode of all time.
I am so hard.
Are you excited to find out how I wrote like a young fleeting romance?
Yes.
I'm not.
I feel it might be uncomfortably close to how any romance in my life actually goes.
I mean, considering both of us at the moment, I think we've got more chances of going out with a Final Fantasy 7 character, so...
And getting blown out.
Anyway, enough depressing shit. And there's a side plot to this as well.
There is.
That Chip knows about this date.
He does.
He's also after drugs for some very unknown reason that was never explained, but hopefully will be in this episode. So how about it? Should we go on the most romantic date you've ever been on, MC? This is episode 8, Spiked Part 2.
Wouldn't it be great if Chip showed up like Mrs. Doubtfire and tried to ruin the date? Like he puts on a fat suit, he puts on this terrible Scottish accent.
Anything that happened now was going to be a disappointment.
Yeah, I know. Previously on Tomorrow Gayson.
Did you get it? Of course I did! Have I ever let you down? Scott said. It looked to be all the right stuff, but he was no expert in drugs. He had no interest in them. Why is Chip dealing in drugs now?
Because he's evil.
When he told Scott of his plan with these sleeping narcotics, his brother had mentioned he knew a vampire drug dealer who specialised in spiked blood. A few minutes passed, and MC finally came back. He didn't look too happy.
She blow you out?
Jay asked.
No,
replied MC.
In fact, I'm meeting her for a drink in about an hour's time.
Oh, you got a date!
Oh yeah, gonna get blown out.
Finally, it's gonna happen. Why so glum? Louise said.
Seems our friendly detective had a visit from Chip earlier.
Louise and Jay looked at each other. Perfect. Chip smiled, an evil smile. Let's not make the obvious jokes. This was just the opportunity he was looking for. The club was full of young Japanese men and women, all looking for the same thing. Love.
That's a very charming view of what people go to nightclubs for.
I didn't go to a nightclub until I was 27, so...
And you were looking for love, and you were very disappointed.
So I am so alone. MC wasn't really a fan of nightclubs, but given the choice, he'd rather be here than hunting rat demons or fighting old friends. I guess if you're going to weigh up the options there.
Yeah.
He'd arrived in the popular Tokyo hotspot about half an hour early, just in case. Of what? Just in case of...
No. Is he going on a date, like a first date to a nightclub?
Yes, maybe it's more of like one of those sort of like clubby bar type things.
Like in films where they have music playing but you can still talk.
Yes, exactly.
And be heard
at
over
normal
the music.
level. And
Okay.
As he sipped his drink, he couldn't help but wonder how many of these clubbers were in fact more than met the eye.
Transformers? It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last time.
Yeah,
now it's Transformers
as well.
and
Yeah.
18. It's just 80s references all the way.
The club was dark and new wave techno blared out of the DJ's turntables. It was perfect for hiding certain facts about individuals who were looking for more than just pulling the opposite sex.
Is new wave techno actually a thing?
I don't know. I don't think I was probably around 15 when I wrote kind of season 2 of this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would have known what the hell new wave techno was, or DJ's turntables, or what the opposite sex was. Also, I've gone from saying that they were all looking for love to saying that they're just looking to pull. So,
Yeah, well, modern meets the eye, but I mean, you're talking about vampires and stuff.
yeah. MC's just on the clock, isn't he? Like, he can't switch off.
Exactly, but all the humans are still looking for love, and that's all. They're having a soft drink, nice appetizer. We can have a charming conversation with a young lady or young man.
So wholesome. The club was dark and new wave techno blared out of the DJ's turntables. It was perfect for hiding certain facts about individuals who were looking for more than just pulling the opposite sex. Vampires, some shape-shifting entities, and the occasional zombie could pull off the act of being an everyday human being to lure their prey out into the dark streets of Japan. I mean, that's got to be a clever zombie, hasn't it? Like,
Yeah,
super gluing
like
all
a pretty
the...
fresh one,
Yeah.
right?
There was a character in Buffy who was like, I can't remember what season he was in. I think he turned up a couple of times, but he was like a football guy, and he dies in a car crash or something, and is
I
a
remember
zombie,
that.
and he's just slightly green. Like,
Wasn't he like the Frankenstein's monster dude?
oh, maybe yeah. I think you're right actually.
And they were trying to build his crazy brother was trying to build him a lady
Yes.
friend, and they were going to use Cordelia's head.
Oh my god, I'm so proud of you.
I'm the Buffy expert now. I'm going to reveal all the shit fan fiction that I wrote 15 years ago, and we'll make a podcast about that.
But MC couldn't worry about that too much tonight. He had a date with the incredibly good-looking Tifa Lockhart.
And she's probably got a personality, maybe? I don't know, whatever.
After finding out what Chip was up to, he was going to woo her. He's got his plan. He's ready. He's got his game all set. So, hey, my old best friend is evil now. What is he up to? Buying drugs? Okay, great. Hey, want to get out of here? It had been a very long time since he'd wooed anybody.
Probably because he keeps referring to it as woo.
Yeah, I think so. MC felt a twinge of guilt about being here as memories of his fiancée, Carol, who had been killed a few years ago by zombies, swelled in his gut. He's still carrying the pain of...
Oh, poor MC.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he lost his wanking hand, that's why. It got
So you
cut
can
off.
think about Carol.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he needs a release.
If it wasn't for that, then MC wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be in the position to help people now, and many lives would have been lost in the past few years. It gave him little comfort. Oh, I thought that was going somewhere else. Before dwelling on it too much, he decided to go to the loo. Nerves were getting the better of him. Oh good, he's going to have a shit. Great, I'm glad I included that detail.
A ninja shit.
MC left his drink on the bar and went in search of the little boy's room. When he returned, he saw Tifa standing just centimetres away from where he had been earlier. That's really close. A deep breath later, and MC was on his way over to her.
Oi, darling, fancy shag.
The art of seduction.
Nice tits. You look well fit.
Don't blow me out! Of all the places, Chip thought, it could have been in a tar pit or hell itself. Anywhere but a nightclub. I'm pretty sure I had like an aversion to nightclubs at this stage, so this is real Chip's feelings coming through evil Chip's mind. He looked around at the hundreds of dancing fools in this place and couldn't help but wonder why and how getting drunk and looking like a prat on the dance floor could be considered fun.
What a twat. Jesus Christ.
I like that. It's almost like two perspectives of the same space. So you come in with MC, it's like, hey, everyone's looking for love and like just having a bit of fun. I'm a bit nervous about my date. Chip comes in and goes, what a bunch of cunts.
I don't understand why drinking and looking silly is considered to be so much fun.
He's so evil. Bollocks to it. All we've got to do is stick it out for about an hour and a half, and then I'll be having a bit of fun, alright? Chip watched MC and Tifa talking from afar. He was in disguise so as not to be recognised. He wore a light blue shirt, smart trousers, and smart shoes.
Hey, that guy over there looks exactly like Chip. Oh no, he's wearing smart shoes.
A blue
Can't be
shirt.
him. He always wears a dark blue shirt, but this guy's wearing a light blue shirt.
Just like a regular clubber, so there was no way to distinguish him from any other young male inside the club, because they all look like Chip in their light blue shirts and smart
Is it
shoes.
because his MC's eyes aren't trained?
I like to think he's standing right behind them, just like, hello, fellow clubbers. I am just here looking for love. I don't feel silly at all. Chip had also shaved his hair, leaving him with just a straightforward grade 2 all over. I mean, he's still got his face though. He's still got his same face.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not a master of disguise quite yet, is he? He was bored stupid sitting at the table by himself. He was even starting to miss Jay's ramblings about a certain rock band, but his illusions were quickly interrupted when he saw MC stumble at the bar. This is it. He stood up and headed for the back entrance. Ooh, what's happened? Also, just going into the next part of this, we skipped over Tifa and MC actually talking, and that's the bit I fucking wanted to know what was happening with.
Maybe you didn't feel confident in your ability to write.
Oh no, clearly this whole thing is clearly not that, is it? Like, I wrote this. Confidence I was not lacking.
Yeah, true. How many have you had?
Tifa asked as MC found his feet again. Their date had been going really well, yay. MC had found out what Chip had been after, which turned out to be some name that didn't exist. Until MC started to feel ill. His eyes felt like 10-ton weight, and his knees were like overcooked spaghetti. I mean, just cooked spaghetti is pretty bad for your knees to be, isn't it? The bar had broken his tumble, but now his head was pounding.
Oh, fantastic.
He could barely manage to form thoughts.
One time I meet a sexy lady, and I get wasted.
Then MC realised that he only had the one drink, and that was a lemonade.
I think we better get you home,
Tifa said as she lifted MC up from his doubled over posture. That's quite nice. I feel like, if you met someone on a first date and then they turned out to be like plastered, you'd be like, nah, you're not, this isn't going to work, maybe not.
I don't know, it depends on why Tifa is taking him away.
Oh, you're still hoping for some wooing, are you?
Yeah, MC's going to get date raped by Tifa Lockhart.
Tifa was surprisingly strong, and MC felt safe in her arms as she carried him out of the club.
Aww, that's really sweet. It's like when you fall asleep in the car and your parents carry you away.
She's got him like cradled.
Yeah. It's getting weirdly Freudian now.
Wish Tifa was my mum. Still, he couldn't think of what was happening to him. As they got into the alley behind the club, MC sensed danger coming towards them, but he couldn't do anything to warn Tifa. That'll be his ninja senses coming out then, I guess.
But no, it's just his regular senses because he's been drugged.
Oh.
So they've been downgraded to just regular senses.
Chip knocked both Tifa and MC down when he jumped down onto them from behind.
There's a lot of downs.
Like so many downs. Chip knocked both Tifa and MC down when he jumped down onto them from behind. Tifa stood quickly and drew out her gun. MC was barely able to keep his eyes open. Tifa seemed confused. She half lowered her gun in case Chip was just mucking around. He looked different. She doesn't recognise him in his blue shirt and shaved head. Also, mucking around.
I love it when you're holding somebody who's unconscious and somebody just fucking jumps on top of you, knocks you over. Yeah. Oh, you got me again. Oh, the guy smashed his head on the ground. Fracture. He's got a concussion and he's bleeding. Fracture. What did you do that for?
She asked. Chip replied, because I've spiked your lover's drink, so I could easily take him out. What other reason would I have for attacking a police detective in a dark alley?
Sounded quite villainous there, with those sort of, because I've spiked your lover's drink, so I could easily take him out.
It's a bit like the bit in a Bond film when he's strapped to a table and they're like, aha, my completely evil plan, I will tell you about it now, because you have no means of escape. Tifa raised her gun again, not liking the tone of Chip's voice. The content's fine, but just the tone. A bit grumpy. I thought you were doing some sort of hilarious prank, Chip. Why are you getting all like this? Still, MC couldn't move.
I think you've had too much to drink. Just calm down, otherwise I'm going to have to take you in.
She was firm as she spoke. That was very nice and firm, well done. Thank you. I got a real problem with that, Chip replied. MC struggled with his own paralysed body as he tried to warn Tifa. Yeah, it's going to be tough for MC. Like, he knows what's happened to Chip, and, like, Tifa thinks it's a prank, and then he's a bit drunk.
Japanese pranks are hardcore, man.
I mean, we know she's not a great detective. Like, so this has been well established. So.
There's a clue here.
Kick me in the back of the head, knock down an unconscious man, has told me that he spiked his drink so he could take him out.
And he's literally said that he's attacking me. What's going on?
Use my detective skills.
I just need to write this down on a blackboard, get some pieces of string to connect all the clues.
MC struggled with his own paralysed body as he tried to warn Tifa.
What's that?
The detective asked. Chip spun 360 degrees and sent Tifa flying into the alleyway wall with a hard kick. He stood over the unconscious woman.
Oh dear. Let's come up with an alternate meaning for what that could mean after you've said the
Okay. I'm going to read the bit before, set it up again, and then I'm going to do this horrendous line, okay? And then we're just going to pretend that this was written by a silly man who isn't me. Chip spun 360 degrees and sent Tifa flying into the alleyway wall with a hard kick. He stood over the unconscious woman. You just don't do anything for me.
Platonically, like you're saying, "Ooh, you're annoying, so I'm going to kick you."
Bless you for trying.
It was another language that he was speaking that just happens to form a coherent English sentence.
Let's not lie, it's an horrendous line.
Yeah, okay.
In a way that it's horrendously sexist. It's really poor taste, but I don't think he's got anything more sinister behind it.
No.
I think it's like Chip trying to be evil again.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right.
So, semi-benefit of the doubt, but I really wish I hadn't written that. MC couldn't control his body any longer. It gave out on him. Darkness took him, and MC didn't know if he was coming back. Any luck? Louise was genuine with her question, but Jay wasn't in the mood.
No.
He glumly replied. Have you noticed I'm using glum and glumly quite a lot?
You have. I think it's another new word that you discovered that...
Glum.
Huh.
G-l-a-m.
This is going to revolutionise my writing.
From her sitting position, Louise couldn't reach Jay to give him a sympathy hug, so instead she took his hand. He smiled down at her, appreciating the effort, but it was still a sad occasion. Jay picked up the last black sack with the remaining pieces of his pool table.
Oh no, the real tragedy.
Which was only useful for firewood since Chip destroyed it.
The first death of this series.
We've gone from a date to a funeral. He slowly trudged outside and threw the bag on top of the others. One day, Louise said as Jay returned, you'll have enough money to buy another pool table. Who knows, it might even be a better one. I guess you can get a better pool table.
Sure, I would have thought Jay would have bought
the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like one of those little kids ones, you know, with just like the 4 legs.
He spent 30 quid at Argos. It's like, I'm a millionaire.
Jay sighed in agreement.
Oh well,
he said.
At least I still got the cues as a memory.
He stroked the long, thin wooden cues and wished for a chance to pot some balls with them.
Was that intentional?
I don't know. It's hard to tell if I'm trying to be humorous or really stupid.
Yeah, or both.
Yeah. But then that's me all over, so... Before he got too in-depth with his thoughts... Slow down, Jay. Jesus. Don't have an existential crisis on us. Before he got too in-depth with his thoughts, Shin no Khan appeared. Yay! Drake. Fantastic. Louise thought. Whenever this guy shows up, it's never good news. Indeed it wasn't. MC had been drugged and kidnapped by Chip and was being tortured by the former colleague and his brother. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Although, I mean, it's still not as tragic as the pool table, obviously.
No, of course. They're just like, oh, is that all?
Yeah.
we just buried
Guys,
it.
we're grieving, all right?
You appear at the worst time.
Telling us some pointless shit.
Indeed it wasn't. MC had been drugged and kidnapped by Chip and was being tortured by the former colleague and his brother. You mean Scott, the vampire? Louise knew this wasn't good. Because of the drugging and kidnapping and the torture?
There's a clue. If only Tifa Lockhart was here to solve this mystery.
Shin no Khan nodded in agreement. We have to do something, she added.
Like what?
Jay said.
Crap ourselves because nobody's going to save us this time.
Louise didn't like it, but she was going to have to agree with Jay. They weren't exactly prepared for battle, what with herself being unable to walk, Shin no Khan being dead, and Jay basically being a pansy. Sorry, Jay. "I'll get the spell books," she said. Maybe something in one of them could help MC. I feel like this is going to go terribly wrong.
Yeah, it might be.
If people who don't know anything about magic are going to try and do something with magic...
It doesn't work out well in Buffy, right?
No, never.
So therefore it won't work out well in this.
Even when people who know what they're doing with magic try and use magic, things don't go well in Buffy.
My arse.
MC had finally found a part of his body that wasn't in pain.
Oh my god.
Since the drugs had worn off, he'd been tortured and beaten by Chip and Scott. First, they used their fists and feet for simple pleasure. After Blunt, they switched to another one of the 5 main torture groups, Sharp.
There's salty, sweet, umami, blunt, and sharp.
This is from something.
Is it?
Yeah.
What did you rip it off from?
I think this is from Terminator 2.
The point is that it's not original.
No,
Obviously.
this is stolen.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
It's been ripped off from something, and
So,
I think it's Terminator 2.
You'd seen... Actually, I mean, there's quite... Well, last week there was A-Team, there was Ninja Turtles.
No. I don't think it is Terminator 2. I think it's Faith. I'm pretty sure this is something Faith said.
Oh, good, okay. Woof. I was worried you'd seen more than one TV series.
There was too many layers coming in there. This is definitely Faith.
Okay, good.
This is when she's torturing Wesley and Angel when she comes into that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Buffy and Angel knowledge. First, they used their fists and feet for simple pleasure. After Blunt, they switched to another one of the main 5 torture groups, Sharp. They cut MC's face and body, drawing blood, but making sure to cut his flesh deep so he wouldn't pass out.
What?
What?
Okay.
So if you have like a paper cut, you pass out immediately, but if you get stabbed in the eye, you're fine.
I felt so awake.
It was now a choice between hot, cold, or loud next. Scott wanted to do hot and pulled out his lighter, but Chip had other ideas. Mental torture, I think, he said to his brother, which wasn't one of the previous 5 groups of torture, so...
He's freestyling.
Mental torture, I think, he said to his brother. Chip whispered something to Scott that MC didn't quite hear. Scott walked out of the small, decaying office they'd chained MC up in. Chip pulled out a chair in front of MC and sat down. And I bet he sat down like with the back of the chair in front of him.
Straddling the chair.
Yeah. He won't be long, he said. MC spat claret from his mouth and spoke for the first time since he'd awoken.
So you're saying claret instead of blood was like the trademark of 14-year-old Chip writing.
I think this is the first time we've seen it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Possibly. But that's definitely going to come up again.
Yeah.
MC spat claret from his mouth and spoke for the first time since he'd awoken.
Chip, before you kill me, there's something I want you to know.
Chip got off his chair and walked close to MC, so they were only about a foot apart. "What's that?" he asked. MC looked at him with black and blue eyes.
That haircut makes you look really gay.
It was a simpler time when homophobia was fine. Chip snarled and swung his fist, obviously very sensitive about his new haircut that he thought was going to let him blend in all the clubs.
It was because Chip is really homophobic.
Chip snarled and swung his fist. He connected just underneath MC's ribcage, causing him to gag. As Scott returned, Chip stood back from MC. This time, Scott wasn't alone. In his cold, dead arms was a young boy. He must have been around 10 years old. MC's battered eyes widened as he knew what was coming. He tried pleading with Chip, even though he knew it showed a weakness inside him. Is it weakness if you're like, please don't kill that child? Please don't do that. I don't mean to be all weak and stuff, but...
Yeah, I would consider that
It was a simpler time. Toxic masculinity was fine.
Oh, you're crying because of the dead child.
Gay.
If you get upset because a child is being murdered in front of you, it's because you like cock. That's how it works.
And you can never go to a football match ever again.
But you don't like beer.
MC's battered eyes widened as he knew what was coming. He tried pleading with Chip, even though he knew it showed a weakness inside him.
Don't do this. There's no point.
Chip sat on the desk on the other side of the office and gazed out of the broken window. Remember that time when we couldn't save that school full of kids from being blown to hell, and the way we felt we'd failed afterwards? Well, MC, my friend, this is a little reminder of how much power I have over you, because I no longer have to feel any guilt whatsoever.
What the fuck? You just...
He's evil, okay?
In Buffy, when Faith went evil, because Angel had his whole losing his soul, he was a demon, so when he does evil stuff, it's whatever.
Yeah.
When Faith went evil, did she just do something so hilariously over the top there was no chance of them ever reconciling?
She did some bad things, but... I mean, she killed a guy, but that's kind of what set her off on her path and stuff.
Right.
And she teamed up with a mayor who was trying to destroy everything.
Sure.
So, I don't think she ever dragged a kid in front of Buffy and was like, I'm going to stab him now.
That's where she went wrong.
Chip gave a nod to Scott, and the vampire changed, showing his demonic face. Okay, so this is ripped off from Buffy.
Okay.
Because in Buffy and Angel... vampires can just pass as normal humans, but then they can have like a vamp mode, don't they? You know.
Well, you said full vamp mode in this series before.
I think it's a reference to that, so I'm stealing it from that.
Okay.
He held the boy tightly and held him in front of MC, who struggled with his chains, desperately trying to get free so he could help the kid. It was no good. Scott bit down hard on the boy's neck, causing blood to ooze out onto the office floor. Chip continued to look out the window and refused to watch.
It's not that... Well, still pretty evil, but not really willing to engage with the thing.
Maybe a hint there. The boy screamed, but was quickly silenced as he lost consciousness and died. Fucking hell. Do you remember when we were looking forward to the nice romantic date?
Yeah. This isn't the date?
MC had never felt so weak and helpless in all his life.
Just kill me, you bastard.
He pleaded. Chip returned to his cocky new self and turned to face MC. Again he nodded to Scott, and the vampire dragged the boy's body away, leaving the two ninjas alone. MC, my dear boy, you think I'm going to kill you? Wrong. MC glared at Chip, who continued to speak. I'm going to let you live, so you remember exactly what happened here tonight. Chip picked up a tire iron off the floor and walked towards MC. But don't forget, he said, raising the weapon high above his head, there's still more to come, and it's going to get a hell of a lot worse. Before MC could reply, Chip swung the tire iron at the side of MC's head, knocking him out cold.
Is Chip doing the villain thing of like, I could kill you, but I'm not going to?
Yeah, I guess this is still the mental torture
continuing.
It is,
to be fair. I mean, he's kind of been set up before, to be fair.
Yeah. And this isn't, it's not necessarily Chip's grand plan. This is kind of like a little part of it. He's fucking with him. That's what he's doing. He
is. But, I just can't see how they're ever going to reconcile. There are limits, you know? If it's you slept with my girlfriend, or you ate my cream egg, or...
No, whoa.
Oh, okay,
all right, calm down. All right, easy.
Chip hasn't gone that far yet, you're right.
But I honestly didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was going to be like, some sort of last-minute rescue, the boy's going to be okay.
Yeah.
No, children die in this. They just die.
Yeah. But, I mean, Chip did have amnesia. No, he faked the amnesia.
He faked the amnesia / depression.
There's just no hope for him.
He's evil.
Yeah. Let's not do that joke anymore. We've done it quite a bit.
I'm going to run that into the ground so hard. I've got it! Louise shrilled. She had been searching through many of the magic books. They had been trying to find something that would help MC. It's a protective spell, she told Jay and Shinno Khan. All we have to do is find something of MC's, do this chant, and he will be mystically protected from any physical harm. Oh, just one flaw. We need to know his location first. This is a very handy spell. Why did I not use this every day?
Well, that's useful.
Jay was getting bored and worried.
I don't know how you do the two simultaneously.
But bored is first. Oh God, I'm so bored. I'm so worried.
I wish your MC would just die already.
I'm so worried about him. Louise was about to continue flicking through the book when Shin no Khan said,
I know where he is.
Why don't you just fucking say that then, you pillock? Louise and Jay looked at each other, stunned. Shin no Khan was supposed to be a wise master. How could he have forgotten an important fact like this? See, I was right, he is a pillock.
He is. Oh, sorry. Did you want to know? My bad, guys.
Before Louise and Jay could quiz him, there was a loud screeching noise. Jay rushed outside and saw a van speeding off in the distance. On the mansion's front lawn, a beaten and blindfolded MC lay still. Jay helped him back into the mansion and sat him down inside the living room. Jay and Louise joined them. Everyone looked at MC, all worried, not bored anymore. Blood dripped off MC's face. Bruises covered his intelligent-looking face, and he could hardly speak.
I feel like that's a sort of... Well, he's not very handsome. He looks very intelligent, yeah. Oh, I bet he's read a lot of books.
Blood dripped off MC's face. Bruises covered his intelligent-looking face, and he could hardly speak.
So, now can I kill Chip?
And that's the end of episode 8. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Things are getting dark.
Dead kids.
And a lot less romantic than I was expecting.
More dead kids. Well, I mean, there were more dead kids in the previous one because of the school that got blown up.
Yeah.
But this was in more detail.
There was mention of these kids before. Do you remember Scott had them like tied up?
Yeah.
And Shin no Khan was like, what is happening with Shin no Khan, man?
He's fucking useless, isn't he? He really is.
Maybe he's got some sort of amnesia/depression because like he knows where Chip's base is. He knows where the warehouse is. He knew where MC was, but he didn't say anything. So
like, oh, maybe the kids will be fine. Oh no, shit, never mind.
Yeah, like what has happened?
I think you were right in the previous thing when you're like, you know, Chip's like a son to him. He doesn't want to, you know, this might be the event that makes him go, okay, no, Chip is lost to me. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, even MC is like, now can I kill him?
Yeah.
Like you said, I couldn't before.
Yeah.
Now he's murdered a fucking kid in front of me.
Yeah.
Although, do you think it's? You were saying earlier about how how would they ever reconcile this if indeed like they ever get the chance to? You know, unless Chip is just evil now. But like Chip didn't kill the kid. He got his brother to do it. That's not.
That's.
Do you think that's how I'll try and get around it eventually?
It wasn't me. I mean, I told him to do it, and I kidnapped the child, and I tied him up, and I put it in front of him, and I was making sort of biting motions, like,
and I drugged you, and I chained you up, and I made someone kill the kid in front of you.
But I didn't physically do the biting, so it's basically fine.
If it ever gets to the point, whatever happens, if it, you know, they do try and bring Chip back to the light side or whatever, can we just mention this again and again and again? Every time it's like, oh, Chip, you're all right now. And like, yeah, remember that time you killed a kid?
I bet that there will be like an awkward pause. They have to work together. There'll be an awkward pause. One of them make a joke.
Yeah.
And that'll be like, right, friends now.
I mean, in a way, that's almost giving me too much credit because I can really see me just being like, nah, forget about it. Don't worry. It's fine. He's good now. It's fine. It's fine.
Is there a switch on the back of his neck that's like good or evil and he accidentally knocked it during that fight at the end of season 1?
But I do feel like we're getting into like the meat and bones of the season. Is that a saying? Is now.
Sure.
We're not going to blow it out. Whereas now it seems like, okay, we've got our antagonist, Chip.
We do.
Okay, yeah, he's evil, we get it.
Yeah.
But also now it's like, MC's like, now we're going to go after him.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were just kind of like, there was a bit of a standoff, nothing was really happening, but now it's like serious business.
He also beat up Tifa. He ruined their first date, which is,
the most heinous act.
There's no way they're ever going to be friends again.
There's killing a kid, there's eating a cream egg in front of someone, and there's ruining a date with Tifa Lockhart. Well, join us next week, MC. Well, you'll be here, that's fine. Everyone else should join us next week for the next episode, episode 9, which is going to be called Padawan Learner. So hey, let's rip off some Star Wars. That will be great fun, won't it?